Okay, so we have just 25 minutes, or let's say 30 minutes.
Okay.
So I have a bit of a structure
Okay.
around this so that we can maximize the very small time. So what you do for me is just introduce yourself. Tell me what you were doing in the past. Tell me what you're doing now. Tell me what you're hoping to achieve in the future. You can even tell me why you relocated. What are you hoping to achieve, let's say in 2023? Stuff like that. Let's hear.
Okay. My name is Mustapha Alanamu. I'm from Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria. Yeah. I was a product. I'm still a product designer. So I have 5+ years experience of product design. You understand? So I've worked with the likes of Union Bank, Polaris Digitech Limited, and I also actually did freelancing with Upwork too. Yeah, so I started my career as a IT support at Triple G. It's a printing press. So from there, I got to know what design is, and I had passions for making things look beautiful and actually making life easier for for the users. So there was this product that was actually introduced then as a counterfeit certificate. It's a printing firm, so they print some security documents for banks and all that. So we were tasked to actually design like a small, like 2 to 3 pages product for the company, just to help with the counterfeits and all those documents. So that was where I actually started my UI UX design career. It's actually a self-taught kind of thing. I did it within 3 months. Then I got my first offer, like professional offer, at Ikeja, which is Polaris. I started with 120K. So from there, yeah. So my whole career was from 45,000. Imagine the gap. So from 45,000 naira to 120K. So I was so happy. I moved on. And from there, I've been working on myself, improving myself. I cannot call myself a senior designer right now, but because if you are not getting more gigs, you're not getting out there, people are not knowing you yet, you cannot call yourself a senior designer. So though I've tried my best. Like I said, I worked with Union Bank too as a product designer. I worked with them for close to, I think, a year and 8 months before leaving the bank. Then before leaving Nigeria, I also got an offer at UBA as their product designer also. But I had to reject it because Canada is far better. So that's just as simple. So the main reason why I actually left Nigeria for Canada, because I came here through studies.
Okay.
It's just that since I finished my university days, that's around 2016, I've had passion of leaving the country because I don't really see anything Nigeria can offer me. So now that dream came true, I'm here and I have years of experience in the bag. I'm actually currently looking for a job here, as a full-time job, because as a student here in Canada, it's kind of hard. But thank God the Canadian government actually gave us this opportunity to actually work more hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the more hours is still all these little jobs, all this customer care kind of thing. But which is not my thing. I'm managing it. It's not a big deal, but I'm still actually looking for a product design offer. Though I've had lots of interview from like a month now. I've had, like, let's just say 10 interviews,
Mm.
and they've been, very nice offers, 90K, 120, 150, nice offers. But the problem is they want someone that has experience, like 2 years experience in Canada already. So, I just got here, so that's like a barrier for me. And also, I'm in Montreal currently. It's a French province, and it's also a barrier bilingual. I have to be able to speak French. But Nigeria, we don't speak French.
Hmm.
So, those are that's just me in a nutshell. But sorry for saying this, but the main thing why I actually wanted to actually jump on this meeting with you is just like, I want you to look at my portfolio, look at my CV. maybe there's something maybe I'm not getting to actually, help me out with all those stuffs. I don't care about the experience right now. I just need someone to actually just help me out and do all the stuff. Sorry for talking too much, but I actually applied to Andela twice. I applied last year. I got some rejected. So I applied again after 3 months. And I don't know, during the interview, you and the interviewer will be actually smiling like, this is nice, this is this. But at the back, they'll just send you, we're sorry, this, that. I get it a lot. I get it a lot. So it's fine. I'm actually looking for a better, like a full-time work, or even if it's remote, contract work, anyone, I'm open for a job. So I guess I'm done talking.
Okay. Awesome. I noted down as much as I could from what you said. But before I comment on stuff, some of the things you said, you said you want me to look at your CV, you want me to look at your portfolio. Do you have links to them?
Yeah, I have links to them, and I can also share my screen now if you don't mind.
No, just just drop the links in the chat.
Chat, okay.
Drop the links to your CV and your portfolio.
Okay.
So while applying for jobs, have you been using a cover letter?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. Can I see what your cover letter looks like?
Okay, I'm going to drop that also.
Okay. Okay.
1 minute.
No worries. Cover letter. Okay, so you said you've been applying for jobs. What kind of companies have you been applying to? Like, on what platforms have you been applying to?
Yeah, so I started with Indeed. From Indeed to LinkedIn.
Indeed Canada, right? Specifically.
Yeah, no, not really Indeed Canada. I just Indeed.com. Then I don't know if they. So I'll have to filter my this thing to Canada. You understand?
Okay.
I don't know why my this is not copying. Okay.
What's that?
That's the cover letter.
Yeah, okay. Please give me access to your CV.
Okay, you can actually click on it from my portfolio. Just click download resume. That will take you to another tab.
It still says access denied.
Really?
Yeah. Please give me a few seconds. I'll be right back.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, so have you rectified the access there now?
Yeah, I'm actually looking for the real CV. Let me just forward it to you. The document itself.
I won't be able to open the document. I will need a link. So how about just going to Google and just updating the access? That would be more straightforward.
Okay.
Okay. So while you're doing that, when you were introducing yourself, you said I was a product designer. So why did you say was?
I actually corrected myself. I said I am. So...
Yeah, you did correct yourself. So I thought there was a reason behind the pause.
No, not really.
Okay. All right. Also, I wanted to know you said I wanted to ask you, are you a junior, mid, or senior? Would you see yourself as junior, or mid, or senior designer? Which of them would you call yourself?
I would see myself as a senior designer because I've actually helped a lot of people.
Okay.
Actually, like something like this. I've done a lot of this, and I can tell you that this Andela thing, I've actually helped like 2 people get into Andela. Well, I don't know why I'm not getting in. I've actually helped like two or three of some of my, I cannot call them junior colleagues, get a job and all that. But I don't know. Maybe it's just life and it's time. So.
Okay, so let me quickly comment on that. It's actually an interesting feeling where you help other people, especially people that are kind of junior to you, to achieve something and then you are not even achieving anything. So
Yeah.
I remember a few years ago, I started helping out people, mentoring. So there was this lady that I helped to. I wasn't necessarily helping her to get a job, but I was on a taught her product design. I taught her product design, and within 6 months thereabout, after I finished teaching the session, was it the 6 months, maybe 3 months, she got a job with a foreign company
Wow.
out there in Nigeria, and she was getting good pay, about maybe $3,000 dollars per month,
Wow.
thereabout, while
Wow.
being in Nigeria. And as at that time, I was looking for foreign jobs. I tried and tried. I was not thinking like, what is going on here? I was
That's
really excited and happy because, well, as a teacher,
yeah.
I was really happy for her and everything. But then again, I started asking myself, wait, is the reward of teachers truly in heaven? Or what's going on? Me too, I need some dollars.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I totally understand that feeling. But what I've come to learn is that time and chance, but also I learned that a lot of the advice we give to people, we don't take it ourselves. That
Mhm.
is something else I have noticed. You give advice of, oh, the best way to level up is to practice. But as a mid to senior level designer, you don't really get much time to really practice. All you do is to get the work done. So you don't really practice, you don't really have the time to even update your portfolio with new case studies. But these junior level people have the time so they can
Yeah,
get the job.
yeah, yeah,
So that
yeah.
is one thing I want to point to you. So that might be an issue.
Okay.
Yeah, that could be something, but I totally understand the feeling. It can really, really be upsetting. We are still human beings.
Yeah, but as a mid or senior person, I already have how do I put it? I've done my research a lot. So I don't really need to start working on projects from scratch. No, I've
Mm,
done a lot of projects. I have them in like saved places, and I have sites that I can just get templates, tweak
mm,
them, and within
mm,
2 3 hours, I'm done with maybe 10, 15 screens. You understand?
mhm.
So I don't see myself doing all this daily challenge.
No, no, that's never what I don't remember when last I
It might
did.
not be a daily challenge, but you said just keep designing to just
No,
perfect.
no, what I'm actually more, especially for a designer that wants to specialize, let's say in UI design, for instance, there are certain things you need to keep in touch with. For instance, if you're a Figma user, there are certain things that Figma is releasing new stuff often. If you don't keep in touch with these things, you just lose track of it. And these are things that those junior designers they know it. They notice it when it happens because they are always doing something new with it. But when you're in that senior role, you can get stuck with work and the task and what's just in front of you, that you're not able to just keep track like the way these people can do. That is something daily challenge. Well, I really don't actually have time for those. I think I think those are built for people that are trying to even still understand the basics of product design. It's a way of getting to know that. But yeah, but it's also good for practice. So let me tell you some of the things I have noticed looking at your portfolio. The very first thing I've noticed that is glaring is the fact that when I clicked on download resume, I am not able to see your CV, and that is a problem. So if I'm experiencing it, I can imagine that a lot of other people might be experiencing. So that,
So, I already did that now. Can you try again?
yeah, so it's good that you have fixed it, but my point is it's actually
Still not showing?
it's still not showing. Interestingly, it's still saying access denied. So even if you fix it now, I'm just pointing to you that's like an error that people can have
Yeah.
while why you just share your portfolio with them, and then that could just be like, oh, okay, this person's stuff is not working very well. Okay, fine. And they move on to the next person. You know, we need to remember that just as you are applying, hundreds or even thousands of other people are applying for the same role. One small thing will just set the person off. So another thing I've noticed I'm looking at the first project you have here, Libra.
Yeah.
And like the part where you were writing task, you seem to write more in first person. I think it's good to change your wording to third person in all your case studies. More like, instead of I was tasked with, as a senior, you shouldn't be tasked with. It's more like taking responsibility. It's more like, what's the word? So you could probably say my role on this project was, rather than saying I was tasked with. So yeah, it's just some wording things, just basically rewarding certain things. Then okay, so I'm trying to look through implementation roadmap, survey and interviews. Okay, so I can imagine, I think for this Libra project you did research, right?
Yeah.
Good. So since you did research, I do not see you talking about the research goal. There's nothing really, the part of the research plan. What were you trying to achieve with the research? It should be clearly stated under, I can see where you wrote surveys and interviews, but you've not mentioned the number of people you did the survey with or the interviews with. What was the goal of each of the research? Why did you choose interview over every other type? What were you trying to achieve? Those are some things that it's not just about the fact that you did survey and interviews. I've realized that you need to be very, very clear on why you wanted to even do it. What was the goal? So that should be clearly, very, very clearly stated. That's very important to your case study. So that's the other thing I have noticed just looking at this project. And I think it's good that you have user journey, user flow, cards, design. Okay. Okay, so I think you also need to watch out for typographical errors. Like I just saw at the under, like there, you just wrote achievement and learning point, but achievement is spelled wrong. For me, I've had the privilege of looking at a whole lot of people's portfolios and even having the opportunity to hire some people. But I'm usually one of those people that are a bit picky. I might be looking at what somebody else is not looking at. Like when I see typographical errors, what it usually tells me is that this person does not pay attention to details. That's just it. Yeah. So even if it's just one, I would already put a minus for that person. Like, okay, person is good, but doesn't pay attention to details. That's just it, right? I just saw one, and now I'm like, okay, okay, so this is good, but So also, I think your case studies are good, to be honest, but there are certain rearrangements you need to make. Some things you need to pay less focus to, and something you need to pay more attention to. Like the one I mentioned, research. There's not much of that mentioned here. Yes, you told us the results of the research, personas, the value metrics, all of that are results from the research, but the research itself, even maybe a screenshot, if you had such, of the research, or maybe if it was conducted remotely, having such a thing, or maybe picture, or any form of other evidence. Okay, how many people did you talk to? Where were you? What was the location? I mean, not even how many people did you, or how many people did you want to? I mean, before the research, talking more about research plan now. Yeah, you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say that it's going to be hard for me because it was a phone call conversation that we had.
Then you write it, you note it down.
Okay.
You just note it down. Phone
there
call.
Won't be any image to depict.
It doesn't have to be. I just use that as an example. It doesn't have to be. Phone call, yes, because a phone call interview with, and then you mention why phone call was the approach. Oh, we chose my team and I decided to use phone call because of the circumstances of maybe, I don't know, whatever the reason was, you just note it down. It shows, this is all about the process. It's not just about the results. So I think from what I have seen for the first project, it seems as if we have more of results than the process. That's something that I've noticed. Then let me just quickly glance through Union Mobile. Okay, so okay, disclaimer, I would like to say that this product isn't designed by me, but I came as product design to virtual banking team to help redesign some pages as we receive compliments from customers. Also like to mention that some of the research were done by the previous UI UX design team, which are okay, so that's wrong. Like, you don't need to say that at all, right?
Okay.
You don't need to put that disclaimer at all. All you need to emphasize on is your role on the project. Say your role and leave it. So your role on the project was research, was this. You can, if you want to go into specifics, you can say research on this and this part, while this part was done by my team. You don't need to make it like a disclaimer. Having a disclaimer there, sure that disclaimer was the first thing I saw. For some weird reason.
So the thing is, how do I put it? The person I was actually doing the interview with the first time, the Andela guy, that's what's his name again? I think Moses or Solomon. He's the head of Andela guys in Africa, and he actually started at Union Bank. So he was one that designed Union Mobile. And I was having the interview with him, and I don't want it to be like maybe I'm stealing his own work. So okay.
So what was your part on this project? Tell me.
So my part on it is, if they take you as a product designer in a new company, all you have to do is just keep building on the app that is already existing. Simple. So my part, so but it's how do I put it? It's not really a big deal because
no, that's not true. It is a big deal. It is a big deal.
Yeah,
so I'm looking at the parts under my role.
Yeah.
You said UI documentation, visual design, user testing, research, flow documentation. So documentation is a very big deal. If it was documentation you did, then you focus on that part. What's documentation? Which part of documentation? Are you talking about design system, or are you talking about component library, just component library? What part of documentation? You write it, you break that part down. Any part you did is what you put there. You don't need to putting fluff, or I don't know what other word to use, putting fillers in your case study can be easily seen through. Because when I looked at, and this is your second project in your portfolio, when I looked at it, the disclaimer was the first thing I saw. Then moving down, I began to notice that there were not specifics, like the way you did for Libra project. I noticed they were not really specifics. You just told story, like a lot of things about the problem, a lot of things about solution. It was just a lot of text. I began to notice them. Okay, so there's much story here. Then scrolling down when I started seeing something about survey. So were you the one that carried out this survey? What was your part in this survey?
So the survey is majorly is about the onboarding process and some components, some features on the app, like card, the redesign of the dashboard, and some other.
What was your part in this project, in that onboarding project? On these things you are listening.
Yeah, I did both the research and the interface.
Thank you. That is what you should focus on. So flesh that part out. Flesh it out. What was your work on the, you don't just say, okay, so what I'm looking at now is, you just said survey. So I'm reading it to say survey was conducted using Whimsical to check which of the bank service or feature. I most likely as a recruiter or as a hiring manager will not read this text. So that'd been good to have it as bullet points. This number of participants, this was the goal, this was this. So rather than so much text, even the problem statements, rather, instead of so much text, find a way to reduce, maybe just, even if you're going to write story on that problem, because, well, people expect a problem statement, maybe 3 lines at most, and then any extra thing, bullet point, to be easier to scan through this particular, like for this particular project that I'm just looking at, to be easier that way. Then I can see information architecture. If you did all of the work I'm looking at in this project, then there's no need for a disclaimer. Just clearly state your role on the project. That's all.
Okay.
Disclaimer it's just shouting.
I understand.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll
So
bring that.
yeah, cool. So let me see. Our time is almost up. I wanted to hear or see your cover letter. I wanted to see or hear your cover letter. Can you read it out, or how do you want me to hear that? Can you just read it out? Do you have it there?
Okay. So yeah, let me just save it on the document and let me just forward it to you. Is that fine?
Our time is almost up, so no, that would take a lot of time. So I'm looking through your CV now. By the way, you need to fix that from your website, from your portfolio link.
Yeah, I'm doing that
Yeah,
right away.
but I'm looking at your CV right now. This is the CV you share, right, to people?
Yeah.
Okay, so it has layout problem. I don't know if it is the same view I'm seeing that you share with other people. So this is not good. Yeah, this is not good. Let me just quickly show you what I'm seeing. So this is what I'm seeing. And
Yeah. So the thing is, okay, this is Lagos, Nigeria. No, this is not it. So I
uh,
actually changed some of the things there, but when I got to Canada, I was told it's just a simple format like this. This is the format that they use here in Canada. Because I
okay.
got 2 to 3 templates from some of my guys.
Mm,
But if you have a better template, I guess that's why I'm here.
well, this is not just about template. What I'm talking about now, I'm talking about actual layout. So this is not good. For instance, I can see this design, blah, 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 redesign. This is continuation. This is not good.
No. This is not how it is. This is
Oh,
not.
okay. That's just what I'm talking about. That's what I'm referring to. So that's probably just an error. Okay. That's fine. So well, it's fine. If they said this is the layout for Canada, it's fine. And you've already mentioned that
No.
you've used this to
I get you. But what I'm saying is, since I'm not only applying in Canada because I'm looking for jobs in the UK, US, and all that, so it's going international now. So I need
well,
a standard templates.
well, yeah. So I don't know what template you had before. That's fine. But looking at this, it doesn't cover. It doesn't I think okay, so it's too again, it's similar feedback I have from your portfolio. It's too text heavy. Probably having it as bullet points, like your responsibilities or the impact you had within the company as, let's say, bullet points rather than a lot of text. I think that's a big thing for me looking at your CV. But all is well and good. I wanted to say one more thing before I go ahead. Our time is actually almost up, which is you mentioned how during interviews, the interviewers will be smiling with you, and you'd not know whether the interview went well or something. So there is a question I always ask at the end of interviews that I'm in. I always ask, let me think about how I used to ask. I'll ask, so which part of my experience, okay, I could say based on how this interview has gone, which part of my experience are you unsure of? I always ask that question so that, because they are going to be brutally honest when I ask that question. I just know where I am. So they will tell me, oh, I'm not sure of your experience with prototyping, or oh, I'm not sure of your experience with leadership. I'm not sure. They would just say it. And then immediately they say it, even though I know I'm out of time, I can have 1 or 2 sentences to respond to that. Oh, I actually have a lot of experience when it comes to prototyping, and I have that project. In that project, I showed you, or I led a project with this. Basically, I already know by asking that question. That's usually my very last question. I use that to know where I stand in their whole recruitment process. Yeah, in short, with their expression on their face, with what they say and all of that, I can tell where I stand. Okay, do I have a chance with these people? I don't have a chance, like stuff like that. So
Okay, I get you. But what's from the Andela interview I did? So I actually got a lot of feedback from them. Just what you are saying right now, That was what the two guys actually told me. And truth be told, I've not had the time and all that to actually go over the portfolio to actually try and edit some things, just like you mentioned now. But as of now, I think after this call, I'll have to take some time and maybe during the weekend to just go over it and just make sure I perfect it. But since I got to Canada and the interviews I've had with some of the hiring agents here, is actually I think the province and also the fee, and I came in as a student, I guess. So that's the major issue I have with them
Then
here.
for now, get a remote job then.
That's what I'm working
While
towards.
you say you are doing like maybe customer service, something just to get Canada in quote experience. I hear that's an issue in Canada. They seem to
Yeah.
be big on that. That's not really the case. Well, here in the UK, if you have some jobs actually say something similar, maybe 1 or 2 years experience in the UK, but well, they are not too big on that. So yeah, so now that I have done all of this, we've taken much longer on this section than I thought we would, but well, I'm glad we did. So what I've been trying to do with all the questions and everything, and even looking at your CV and portfolio, is to do some sort of diagnosis. I've had a lot of sessions this past 2 weeks, but I have not spent as much time on anyone's CV or portfolio as I have done with yours. Absolutely no one. Because I just know that it's not enough time for that. What I try to do with this session is more of like a doctor, just trying to understand your past and your present, and also try to see if it is something I can help you with, if I can even help you at all, because I know it's not everybody I can help. Yeah. So there are going to be 4 other sessions in January. Yeah, most likely first week in January, either first or second week in January. And these sessions will be more of, I call it kind of transformational coaching, because it's not one where I'll be teaching basics of product design. Nope, I won't be teaching Figma and all of that. You don't even need that. Then it's one where I'll be more focused on what platforms do you need to be on? How should your LinkedIn profile look like? Because people that tell me, oh, there's not much job out there, UX design is few saturated, blah, blah, blah. I just tell them, nope, that's not been my own experience. My own experience has been, I get at least 2 to 3, okay, let's just say 2 new jobs delivered to my LinkedIn DMs every week, at least 2. This week I've gotten 1. I have a feeling I'll still get another one before the end of this week. And that's because I've somehow been able to set up my profile, yes, in a certain way. And many of these recruiters, it's not just about applying for jobs, it's now they do more of headhunting. So they would actually look for the people they are interested by searching. So they do more of keyword search. So since that's now their approach, then it means that you need to be able to set up your profile in that kind of way. For instance, I try to tell people that I don't remember in the last maybe 5 years, all the jobs I have had, I did not actually apply for. I didn't source them out. I didn't look for them. I somehow just had them delivered, and then they were asked for my portfolio. I'll deliver it. I'll probably just have 1 or 2 interviews, and that's the end. So, so I usually tell people that there's a way to set up your profile on certain platforms that get these things delivered to you. And then this sessions will also be about reviewing your CV, helping clean up your CV and even your portfolio. I've kind of done that a bit. Should have been able to pick a few points. Cover letter, even though I wasn't able to see or hear your cover letter. Cover letter is one of those really, 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 really important things. It's not just about having a template that you are able to just share with people. It's like, I don't know, how do I emphasize the importance of cover letter? I feel like in the very first stage of the recruitment process, cover letter might even be more important than your CV and portfolio. And that's because that's like your voice. That's like a pre-interview, so to say. So I've been able to come up with certain types of, like, let me say, templates. You need to be able to speak about your personality in your cover letter. It's not just about your delivery. Oh, this is what I have done in the past. This is what I will do. No, your personality, two things needs to be in your cover letter. Personality needs to shine through, but also you need to show how you can bring money or value or impact to that company.
Revenue, yeah.
Yes, that's what they care about, especially if it's a for-profit company. What else? So those things need to be in your cover letter. It needs to just be the right size, not too short, not too long. It's like a romance thing.
Can I
So
send it to you on LinkedIn?
what do you say?
Can I send the cover letter to you on LinkedIn?
To be honest, I'm sure I would not have the time for that. We are way past our session already. But like I said, these sessions will be about that. And then depends on how proactive you are. Like you're already applying for jobs. We'll be helping with mock interviews. Again, this one is totally dependent on the person. And then lastly, specializations. You might not need that, well, you might need it. I usually say that as much as you might be a generalist in the UX design field, it's good for you to lean more towards something that you are not necessarily just better at, but something that is exciting to you. So I would be assisting with kind of helping you to see how your personality and even your interest can link to your specializations within UX design. So that would be the sessions. There'll be 4 sessions, like I said, most likely starting in January. To not be free, it's going to be a paid session. It's £100. I don't know what that's the equivalent of in Naira now, but that is it. And what I'll be doing next is I'll send you an email with the summary of like a couple of things I've noted about you and maybe some action points that I've said that I've noted up that you should work on. And I'll also send about these sessions I'm talking about if it's something you're interested in. So again, emphasis is I would not be doing these things for anyone. I won't be helping clean up your CV or helping you write your cover letter. No, I'll be assisting, I'll be helping with. It's going to be a group session of just between 5 to 10 people, very small session. Yeah, I think that should be all on that. Yeah, before I sign off, we are almost 40 minutes in. Oof. Do you have any questions?
Nah, thank you very much. I
Oh,
really appreciate it.
awesome. All right.
Well, I'm expecting your mail, and hopefully if I can pay for it, because it's something I don't care about the money. So I just want to actually have more experience and more connections. You know, me and you knowing each other now, maybe if there's any connection in the future, you can actually put me there and all that. And
all right,
same here.
awesome. Yeah, so expect the email. See you later.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.